Hello, my dear apprentices of mathematics. In this lesson, we're going to multiply multi-digit whole numbers and multiples of 10 using place value patterns. All right, let's get to it. Let's read the instructions. Fill in the blanks, this one's right here, using your knowledge of place value units and basic facts. All right, as you can see, we have a 23 times 20. And one thing they do is they convert the two tens into 23 ones. Let me show you what happens here. So what happens, they place the tens, the two tens, they convert it into ones. So that's going to be 21. So that's 23 ones. And for that reason, they write it like this. And the 20 is going to be written as two tens. So we're going to write it here, two tens. That's all there is to it, right? And remember, two tens is 20, correct? All right, but in this case, we're using the unit. We are actually using the unit, so we can just write the two down and multiply. 2 times 3 equals 6, and 2 times 2 equals 4. Okay, and that will be the multiplication. How many tens do we have? We have 43 tens. And I'm going to write that down with my math tool. 43 tenths. Now remember, 43 tenths, it also can be written as, let me write it again. 43 tenths can also be written as 43 times 10. And that will make it to 430. Then we write the answer here, 430. So we have to write the answer as the standard algorithm, which is the one that I'm just showing you, and we have to write it as units, and these are the units that we wrote it by. Let's do D. D is multiplying 410 times 400. It's going to be 41 tenths. That's how they write it, 41 tenths. Okay. The next one will be 400ths, right? That will be 400ths. And notice that what they did also, they separated the 4 from the hundreds. And you can write it in here like 400ths, just like that. And this is going to be a multiplication. Obviously, we can align these numbers. Like the 4 can be right under the 41. Let me just do that right now, just to make it more clear. Then when you do this, you multiply. 4 times 1 equals 4. And 4 times 4 equals 16. Because we have a 0 here, which is 110, 10, and we have hundreds, which is 2 tens. 10 times 10 equals 100. And when you multiply 100 times 10, that will yield a 1,000 as the product. So this will be 164,000 as a standard form. So it's going to be 164, and it says thousand. So thousands means 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. Again, going back to review, um, this represents a 10, and this number 10, and this represents 100. So when you multiply those two numbers, it equals 1,000. And this is why the total or the product of this multiplication is exactly this number. Determine if these equations, remember equations, which means is the right side when I multiply it equal as the left side. So the product of the left and the product of the right have to be matching. That's why we call it an equation. So we have to decide whether it is true or false. All right, so let's see. So 6 tenths, remember that 6 tenths, just so you get clarification on this, let me get the multiplication symbol. Okay, close that. 6 tenths means 6 times 10. Is this side the same as the opposite side, which is 2 times 10 times 3 times 10. The 6 times 10 stays the same. So 6 times, okay, so the 2 and the 3 we're going to regroup. Here we go. 10 times 10. Okay, and we're going to close the parentheses. What we did is this. The 6 times 10 stays the same because that's easy to identify. That's equals 60. Okay, here, this is 2 times 3 equals 6. And this is 10 times 10 equals 100, which is exactly what we had in the beginning, right? Here is a 2. And the 3 is right here. In multiplication, you have the ability to use these kinds of properties to group numbers. And then the tens stay together. 6 times 10 equals 60. And now, based on this, 2 times 3 equals 6. 6 times 10 times 10 equals 100. Now I can decide, is this true or false? And based on this movement of numbers, I know that this is false. I'm going to write false on it. So this is how you're going to answer these kinds of problems. Make sure you're using the place value chart to help you solve this math. Signing out, your coach, Mr. Magno, wishes you the best.